We all know what it's like to experience life without an emotional support TV show by your side. Existential crisis during every waking moment that's not occupied by story, complex plotline, and love-hate characters. You spend hours scrolling through Netflix trying to find the right show to satiate your needs. This one's too tropey, that one's too gross, this one's too scary, that one's too Caucasian American, if we're being honest. This video is going to be about my current comfort shows that I recommend watching. Big Mouth, Bob's Burgers, and Never Have I Ever. These shows are original, family-oriented, and funny as fuck. Wait, hold on. Are you gonna mention that these shows frequently feature scenes like this?
If I'm not real, then how come I'm sending blood to your sweet penis right now?
So I thought of a few ways you guys can make it up to me. 1. I'd like to be invited to a party with alcohol and hard drugs. I'm not gonna do them. I just like the opportunity to say, no cocaine for me, thanks. I'm good.
I know you think it's the Gene Show out there, but there's a line between entertaining and annoying.
No, that's a myth.
Actually couldn't stand these shows when they first came out. Bob's Burger had cruel looking animation. Big Mouth had the foulest lines and plots I had ever seen. And Never Have I Ever? Well, I just thought it would be too tropey. Besides these truly fatal flaws, these storylines and characters are now my comfort shows. Bob's Burgers. The series centers on Bob Belcher, his wife Linda, and their children, Tina, Jean, and Louise, who run the titular hamburger restaurant in the fictional town of Seymour's Bay, New Jersey. All 3 Belcher children work part-time in the restaurant and attend Wagstaff School. I started watching Bob's Burgers in 2017 during my second semester of college when I was like super duper homesick. I felt cozy and right at home watching this depiction of a middle to lower class family and their dynamic. I actually took forever to start this show. I hated the animation style. Like the first episode of Bob's Burger looks gross. Bob's Burgers was released in 2011 and I didn't start watching it until 2017. Like that's how grossed out by the animation style I was. But now I'm glad I watched the show because it's funny as crap. Jean's jokes are fucking hilarious. Tina, she's a little bit weird, but she's grown on me. And Louise is just very relatable. And then Linda, she's such a riot. Like she's such a chaotic, lovely mom. And it's nice to see a lifestyle that isn't the rich and the famous. So I realized my quality sounded kind of like ass because of the way I was talking into the microphone. And this is a cheap ass microphone I got off Amazon for probably less than $5. So can't expect too much. I feel like in this day and age with social media, all you see is new TV shows and new pieces of media about the rich and the famous, whether it's like a new reality TV show or people showing off on TikTok or another Instagram page that's blowing up or another celebrity that's blown up. And it can just create lots of feelings of feeling like your life isn't enough, at least for me. It'll make me feel like my life isn't enough. But when I watch a show like Bob's Burgers, I feel normal again. And I really like that. It's kind of just a reminder that a lot of us are leading regular lives. There's beauty in it. Just like each individual life we have is so like, I want to say blessing, but I don't like to use that word because of the religious connotations. But it's just amazing that we each can have our own individual life that's so small yet so big. Big Mouth. The series follows a group of middle school teenagers, including best friends Nick Birch and Andrew Glaverman, as they navigate their way through puberty with struggles such as masturbation and sexual arousal, all in the Westchester County suburbs of New York. Acting as over-sexualized shoulder angels are the hormone monsters. Throughout the series, the kids interact with people and objects who are often personified and offer helpful yet confusing advice in their puberty-filled lives, like the shame wizard, the depression kitty, Tito the anxiety mosquito, the love bugs Walter, Sonia, and Rochelle. They seek out their destiny as puberty challenges them mentally and physically. This show is nasty, but super relatable and based on reality. I really like Missy's character because she feels black and suburban, and I really enjoy that as a fellow suburban black girl. I'm not sure why this show is comforting, but it feels of the times without being too try-hard, too pandery, and without forcing Gen Z slang and Twitter references, how some of these shows these days are. Another thing I like about Big Mouth is that it really covers all the uncomfortable things that happen during puberty. It covers mental health, it covers sexuality, and it covers it in a way that's just very real. Instead of erasing queerness, it's there, and as a parent, as straightness, because that's the reality. I really like how they touch on mental health as someone who struggles with anxiety and depression. Seeing the depression kitty and anxiety Tito, the anxiety mosquito, kind of made me feel better about it, because I was like, ooh, they're kind of aesthetic. Like, they're kind of cute. Like, I kind of like them. These visual narratives that kind of bring some sense of clarity to what you're going through and what you're feeling. I like all the different family dynamics that are in the show. Family where the dad is feminine and the mom's more of the powerhouse. I honestly think that's a very healthy dynamic for straight couples to have. The man should be a bit softer and the woman should be a bit harder. The show doesn't skimp out on childhood neglect and how some parents really aren't there for their kids, but they find a way to make it both kind of relatable and funny, but like you still understand the gravity of being neglected. I don't know. Never have I ever. High school's a tough time for most teens, especially for Davey. Season 1 begins with Sherman Oaks sophomore struggling after the sudden death of her father, who suffered a heart attack while attending a concert at her school during her first year. Instead of the reputation she earned as Crazy Davy because she was known for flying off the handle and stopped walking after her father's death, Davy wants to use her sophomore year as a clean slate to become the girl of her dreams. She attempts to climb the social ladder with her best friends Eleanor and Fabiola and thinks landing a boyfriend will help her become her school's it girl. I started watching the show because the main character was going to be Indian. That's not my ethnic background, but just seeing something that wasn't going to be white, I was really excited for. The worst part about the show is how they can be tropey with the heterosexual and even gay romantic plot lines. The gays are totally one-dimensional and you don't get much expansion on who they are or the inner complexities of a gay relationship. In the straights, per usual, they're overhyping their heterosexuality. They're overhyping having a boyfriend, having a girlfriend. Sometimes Davy isn't self-loving enough in her identity, in her ethnic identity, and like she's striving more towards like whiteness or white boys. But there's also moments of pride and moments where they show a lot of like community, solidarity amongst being Indian. But I really like that the show shows a young girl who's not perfect. She literally is kind of mean and kind of selfish and makes mistakes and like actually messes things up for real. She's not a perfect protagonist. I think her mother's involvement in her life is very appropriate, very realistic. It's a super cute show if you get past the little things that are tropey. I love watching this actress act. Like she almost is off, but then she's perfectly on the beat. Show where you got to see some new faces that you'd never seen before, some new actors and actresses. Give these shows a chance, see if you like them, find out your comfort show, you know. I almost said I wish I could have seen them when I was younger, but they're not meant for children, they're meant for like adults. We are in the throes of winter right now, and that's a perfect time to be cuddled up and watching something cozy. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Feel free to check out any of my other videos on different TV shows, animes that I've seen. I think I'm pretty interesting and give a good review, so
I've always wondered what it takes to fill this empty